there anything better than a little backyard barbecue with friends, maybe a beverage or two? Imagine that scene, except twice as fun because Chippo has been worked into the equation. One of my favorite games to play, not just golf games, but backyard games. Imagine cornhole style, 6-ball scoring. You can play 2-on-2, the perfect foursome showdown for backyard bragging rights. If you want to purchase your first Chippo today, fun for all ages, go to chippogolf.com. Use the promo code Rippin It for 15% off your first order. Harold, I'll speak for myself here. Suck at putting? Yeah, I do. Know what can help you improve? Yeah, I do. That's perfect practice. The best putting mat that I have used. Don't just take my word for it. I'm a hack. I'm a 6 handicap. Over 100 pros in the PGA Tour have tried out Perfect Practice. It's great for alignment, for drills. You can use it in your hotel room, your apartment, your house, on the road. Super convenient. Go to perfectpractice.golf, promo code RIPPINGIT to get 15% off.
Welcome into episode number 4 of Rippin It. George Savaricas and Harold Varner III, just getting through Masters Week, and then the PGA Tour schedule returns. First off, it was cool to watch yesterday to see, or cool to watch over the weekend to see Hideki Matsuyama slip on the green jacket, first player from Japan to win a major, also to win at Augusta. How much your Masters Week were you able to watch while you're also kind of preparing yourself to get ready for this week's RBC Heritage?
This week I watched the most I've ever watched, I think, in my entire life. But yeah, it was pretty cool just to see. You know, I've been to Japan twice, and I just know what he means to that country and their golf world. So there's no telling how big that'd be. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think it's pretty funny, you know, while you're watching some of it, you're thinking, you're like, what? Just get it done, you know, and it was pretty awesome to watch.
It was crazy how the gap was, 7 at one point, and then Xander cuts it to 2. He's birdied 4 in a row. You see that? What were you thinking when he rinses?
I was here there, but like when I saw it was within 2, I was like, what happened? But, you know, obviously Xander just played very well. You know, it wasn't as if Matsuyama, you know, gave it to him, you know, like to get that close. I mean, he birdied, 4 in a row, I think, to get there?
Yeah. What do you think of what happened on 16?
I mean, obviously there were some wind issues. I'm sure it's pretty hard. I guess he just kind of went for it, you know, and you kind of got to give him props for that. You know, it was really bad whenever where he hit his drop ball. I was like, dude, I mean, I'm sure he got up there, thought it was downwind, just didn't quite carry, hits it on, then he gets in there, he's like, all right, no, maybe it's not downwind, and you don't want to do it again. And I'm sure he's, obviously juices are going, and just completely flies the green on the next one.
Yeah, your mind's got to be totally racing. At that point. And it seemed like that
only imagine
pretty much ended it. I mean, with Hideki with a 2-shot lead was like on 18, Tiger with a 2-shot lead 2 years ago, where you have some margin for error and can make bogey, and then you see all the emotion pouring out of him. And I've interviewed Hideki before when he won the Phoenix Open, and I know people who are members at Keens Point in Orlando, where Hideki's practiced out of, said he's always just very nice, chill, easygoing guy. What's his reputation among pros in the PGA Tour?
I mean, doesn't say much, but he's been super nice to me, so I like him. I like his caddy a lot. I think he's well liked. I think he's very shy. I mean, I think I would be too if I was in a place where I didn't speak, very well the language, the predominant language. I think it would suck, to be honest with you. But he figures it out. You know, we have one common thing. We're really good at golf, and he's the Masters champion. So there's not many people that have that. So it's really cool.
The underrated thing is the scrutiny that he's on week in and week out, or scrutiny that he's under. And what Tiger has to face versus everyone else in the PGA Tour, obviously when Tiger's playing week to week, is so disproportionate, because his press conferences will have 5 times the amount of people. I mean, there's 40 to 50 media members asking Tiger questions. And then if you just take John Doe, PGA Tour player, when they go in the media center on Tuesday or Wednesday, there's
it's like whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like 6 to 8 people. Hideki, same amount of people, because it's all of Japan, basically. He's the guy from that country that was their greatest golfing hope in the men's game, to not only win on the PGA Tour, but to win a major. And I really think Tiger's the only one who can understand the scrutiny that Hideki's been under his entire career since he was low-am 10 years ago. So it's remarkable how he's been able to navigate not just the pressure of trying to win on the PGA Tour, to win a major, to win for your country, and then every single step or misstep, the media is jumping all over, and it's going back to an entire country who's trying to scrutinize what's going right or what's going wrong or what's up with Hideki, when's he going to win? All those questions that just get asked seemingly all the time.
Yeah, I can't imagine, but I bet you it's one hell of a feeling, right now. I bet you it's insane.
What, when you won in Australia, European Tour run, what was the celebration like for you? What was the feeling of accomplishment like?
It was obviously cool to win, but it wasn't everything everyone makes it out to be. I haven't went on tour, so I don't really know. You think your life's going to change forever, and just that ain't the truth, But it was cool for me because my caddy was from Australia, so it seemed like it meant more. It was really cool for I thought that was pretty awesome. I don't know if he's won in Australia. That's a great question, but it meant a lot to me for him to win there. So when it's not about me, I feel like I care more about it because it's really not about me. I just love playing golf.
That's what Hideki said. His first thought after knocking in the winning putt was he was excited for Shota because that was his first win on his back. So it's kind of crazy that was your big takeaway from your win, is who you can share it with and what it means to them.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about in life, I think. Yeah, that's pretty cool. First win. Hey, how'd you do? Oh, we won the Masters.
You want to wake up feeling good every day? I mean, who doesn't? This product, I can personally attest, has had a huge shift in my day-to-day wellness. It's 2020 Immunity Booster, 2.5-ounce shot, handcrafted by sports dietitians, filled with essential vitamins and nutrients with none of the artificial colors or BS you see in sports drinks. I have it before I go to the range or start my round, or even just to kick off my day. Get 20% off your first order. Ripping It 20, the promo code. Go to drink2020.com.
Will Zalatoris was a huge story over the weekend. Solo second. Was looking, and since basically Bogota on the Corn Ferry, February of 20, his last 20 worldwide starts, he's had 12 top 10s. And they were saying, as a special temporary member, if his FedEx Cup points counted right now, he'd be like 13th in the standings. What have you heard of Will, and is it kind of crazy to see as a peer the run he's been on to get status and then contend in majors?
I mean, it's very impressive. I think he has more top 10s in that stretch than I have in my career. So, very impressive, man. I don't really know him very well. Obviously, he went to Wake Forest, which is close to where I live, but he's so much younger than me, and I just, the biggest thing is it's just funny he doesn't have any status on the PGA Tour. I think we're really good at complaining, and I think that's a really good complaint, but I don't know the answer. I think John Rahm went through the same thing since I've been out there. It's just there's got to be a way to figure that out, in my opinion. I just don't know the ins and outs to know what would be the right answer, but that guy should have status on tour. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, he's up to 27th in the world, and it seems so binary where he has to win for those points to count, and that's similar to, say, Jordan Spieth 8 years ago, where he went on that crazy tear in 2013, and then he finally won. And then in the FedEx Cup playoffs, I think he wound up finishing like top 3 or something like that. I would think it's a rule that needs to be looked at. Will's a great case in point where it might make sense at the end of the regular season if any special temporary members played their way inside the top 30, where they would have technically like been Tour Championship eligible prior to the playoffs. It may make sense to get them in there because a golf fan wants to see who's playing the best golf.
They don't care about anything else.
No, they don't want to see some guy who's grinded it out at 125 necessarily. I know you want to protect the membership, but at the end of the day, you want to see the best players in the world. So I'd be curious how the tour could think of like a Zalatoris rule where you can reward someone who's played amazing golf who may not have won.
Yeah, correct. I mean, second at the Masters, I think you would win a few tournaments.
He was 6th at the U.S. Open, too. I mean, it's just crazy. The guy's, and I loved his quote, and I'm not sure if you saw it. It was something along the lines of like, if I'm stupid enough to think that I can compete on the PGA Tour, then I'm just stupid enough to think I can win the Masters or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I've heard. I didn't see it, but I'll see here. I've heard somebody talking about it. I think that's pretty good. I mean, he's a sharp guy. I mean, he went to the course.
He was. I've interviewed him before. He's just got a kind of good demeanor to him, where he's grateful for the opportunity, but doesn't seem to be afraid of the big moment.
No, not at all.
Looking forward to our next guest on Rippin It, coming off a major. It's our first major champion in the women's game, Danielle Kang, who won the KPMG Women's PGA. I've become good friends with her brother, say 4 years ago. Her brother's roommate, Alex Kang, is David Lipsky, who's also a buddy of mine. He played at Northwestern, and I used to take lessons from Pat Goss, the coach there years ago. And then their agent, Josh Geronimus, is my neighbor in Miami. So there's this little circle that I've gotten to know, Vegas contingent. And from that, Danielle's always obviously lives in Vegas, playing with them all the time. So it's a good crew that they have. How well do you know either Danielle or Alex? And then what do you know about her game?
I know nothing. I know very little about, the LPGA Tour in general, except I've crossed paths with certain ladies, but I've never met Danielle. Obviously, I've heard about her, like she's pretty good, but I'm just excited just to see what she does, what she talks about, and I think I'm in for a rude awakening, to be honest with you, because most of the time we do these things, I either know the people or I'm familiar with what they do, what they've done, and I have no clue, and so it's gonna be a good lesson for me.
I love that she, inside the ropes, is just an ultimate competitor, and just has this, I don't want to say like win at all costs, but she values winning in the midst of competition to such a degree that she has kind of like a maniacal drive to try and be the best in the women's game, and got all the way up to 2. It'll be cool to hear kind of what drives her. She's working with Butch Harmon, who's grown up friends with like Wayne Gretzky and his kids, and there's other celebrities in her midst who have kind of been people who have guided her in her career, and then also friends with Caitlyn Jenner, and has known Caitlyn since Caitlyn was Bruce years ago. So very interconnected, and that's kind of the beauty of Ripping It, is just seeing the relationships that arise from the game of golf. And Danielle's the perfect case in point, where you wouldn't necessarily think, okay, someone who has this pedigree on the LPGA would also know the best hockey player ever, along with guys who excelled in football, or Caitlyn Jenner was an Olympic gold medalist. It's just, it kind of checks all the boxes across the spectrum.
Correct. That's it's going to be awesome. I'm just excited to hear some of these stories about these people.
All right, let's tee it up next with Danielle Kang.
I hear it all the time, George. You're living in Miami these days. You got to have some late nights, and you wake up, you're not feeling too hot. Not true, and I'll tell you why. Tempo, total game changer. Tempo supplements guarantee you're never going to miss a beat. thanks to a formulation of natural ingredients and essential nutrients. 2 versions of Tempo, Hungover AF, which I've taken, natural hangover supplement, and coffee, a supplement for clarity and focus. Check out both at trytempo.co. That's trytempo.co. Find your rhythm with Tempo. Use promo code TEMPO for 15% off your order. Coming off a major week, for the first time we get to welcome a major champion to Ripping It. Harold, pretty excited to have a friend of the program, Danielle Kang, on. Danielle, where are you right now?
I'm in Hawaii.
Okay, nice.
Which you would know if you know how to check time differences between East Coast and Hawaii time.
How's the vacay been before Lotte?
Vacay, like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm on a girls' trip right now. It's been really fun. We're eating our way through Hawaii. A couple of my friends with real jobs, you know, they like my friend, that bitch who has a real job, and my other friend who's a doctor. You know, they're both here. They took time off work, so we're just having fun and doing nothing, which is really nice.
That sounds too simple, actually. I know how guys' trips are. Oh, we're just doing nothing.
I
get
no,
it.
we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot, but
exactly.
it's a no plan. No plan.
How good is that? Like, hey, I woke up today. I'm going to do this. I mean, that's priceless.
That's what I mean by we're not doing anything. As in,
that's
we
awesome.
go with the flow.
I'm happy for you. I haven't been to Hawaii in a long time. I don't know if I'll.
I've never been to Hawaii.
No way.
Yeah, I have 4 states I haven't been to. Hawaii is one of them.
You've never been to Hawaii?
I'm just as shocked.
Oh,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think I want to go to Alaska.
Lie about that.
I want to go to Alaska. That's where I want to go.
That's where I really want to go as well, Alaska. I mean, it's on my bucket list.
Sick.
My next is Kenya, though, so we'll see.
What? When are you going to Kenya?
I really want to go to Kenya. That's my next on the list.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
That one never.
I did Italy. I did Italy 2019, and then my next would be Kenya.
So have you two ever met, actually? Or is this the first time?
I actually saw him many, many times. When I went to PGA Tour events, I saw him, and he's just walking down the fairway, or he's like going from putting green to the chipping green.
Houston.
And I just let him be, you know.
You were super,
he seems very engaged.
No shit.
So what did you think of Harold's game, Daniel?
I played well that week. Just don't even say anything. I played well, and then
He played well that week. Mistakes happen.
Dude, they just should not happen that often.
It's all right. It's golf. You'll make another mistake next week, so it'll be fine.
Oh, I don't remember.
Danielle, love when we have people on, and I mean, we had like Larry Fitzgerald as the first guest, Scott Van Pelt last week.
What a guy.
Fitz is one of the best, but he said the first time he started playing golf, Tiger Woods was the one who put a club in his hand. What was your story on how you started getting in the game?
My story is that I actually didn't like golf. I was into martial arts, but my dad left us at the driving range to just have fun and things, and my brother just started ripping golf balls, and everybody loved him. And a couple weeks went by. I would always sit there and stack golf balls or throw him golf balls or go try and feed the ducks or whatever it may be. And then everyone just kept talking about was how good he was. And like, oh, look at him. Oh, look how hard he hits the ball. Oh, my gosh. And then I really don't like not being the center of attention. So I said, give me a club. So I started just hitting it really hard. And then I started getting attention, and I liked it. I wanted to be the center of attention, and that's why I played. But actually, I was 12 at the time, but that was summer. I remember that month clearly. And then my birthday's late, so it was like 12, 13. But, I really dedicate my golf to my brother a lot. It's because I wouldn't have practiced if it wasn't for him. He is so dedicated. George, you know my brother. Harold, I don't know if you know my brother very well.
Hey, brother Alex.
Yeah,
he works really hard. And
he's a grinder.
Oh my gosh, he works so hard. And I can't outwork him. That's the thing. And I would be at the golf course whenever he goes. I follow him every day. And if he hit 1,000 balls, I try to hit 1,001. Not to get better, just to be one step, like, I hit one more ball than you kind of thing. Which makes you good. And then, and I didn't even sign up for tournaments. My brother signed me up for the U.S. Open, and then I made the Open in a year and a half at 14.
That's insane that you start playing at 12 and at 14 you're in the U.S. Women's Open.
Like, what's going through your mind though? Then, what are you thinking? Like, hey, I just started playing golf, and I played. It took me. I played in the U.S. Open in 2013. I started playing golf in 99 first tournament. So it took me forever.
Yeah. Okay, Harold. I'm gonna be very honest on this podcast. I wasn't raised with golf, so I don't know the golf history very well. I'm still learning. So when people know all these legends and what they did, what tournament, the British Open, the Open, to the Masters, like I wasn't raised with watching golf, so I'm still behind. So when I played the U.S. Open, I didn't know what the U.S. Open was. I didn't know what majors were. I've never watched it, never heard of it, wasn't in the game. I was a 12-year-old, 13-year-old that always went to martial arts for trainings, and my brother signed me up, and next thing I know, I made the local qualifier, and then my brother said, you have to go to this other thing, and I said I didn't want to go. And I threw a fit that I didn't want to go to San Francisco, Lake Merced, and play the sectionals. So why would I have to do that? And then my parents just, my grandfather passed away, and then I didn't want to go, and then it just got to be this entire family drama. And then I went, because they said you should go. And then I just played, and I made it, and the interview asked me, what do you think about making the U.S. Open? I said, I don't know what this is. But everyone keeps
That
making
is
me play it.
awesome.
So
you have to be the first person to qualify who didn't know what the U.S. Open was.
I didn't even sign up for it. So he
Good
signed me
on
up.
you,
He'll
though.
tell you. Yeah, he'll tell you that he signed me up because I was large and in charge as a kid. I was thick, and because I was just training all the time, that I hit it so far for a kid that he thought I could compete. He thought I could shoot 2-3 over par and maybe under par here and there if you hit 240, 250, 260. So.
Large and in charge.
I was
have no
large and in
comment.
charge.
I know saying those things with a pregnant wife will get you killed. So
No, it's
probably
not.
smart.
Tell her she's large and in charge, and she'll just sit on you, and you'll just.
all right, I'll
suffocate.
tell her. Hey Beth, you're large and you're in charge.
Yeah.
She said Harold.
Hell
So,
yeah,
I
she
like
is.
that too much.
Alex told me a funny story, and you were saying you didn't know like the history of the game of golf. You two have met. I mean, Alex is one of the most connected people I've met in the golf world.
yeah.
He's kind of under the radar. And you too. You have an insane amount of connections. The story that I heard involved Marcus Allen, and the first time you met him, shit-talking his golf swing. And this is like a 13-year-old. He was asking you to look at his swing, and what exactly happened there?
Honestly, I don't exactly remember the shit that I said, but I don't remember all the things that I say even now. I know I say some really weird things, but he is my idol. He's my biggest role model. I've known him since I was 13, and I'm 28
Why is
now.
he
I've
your
known him for
biggest
15.
role model though?
One of my biggest role models, actually.
Oh, got it.
Because he's like my family. He's like my uncle, and he's always been there for me through the thick and thin, always helping me be better myself as a person, as a golfer, as a human, like every way possible. And he's got such a crystal clear view of how to be better of himself, and that makes me want to be better. And the way he talks about way things could be or would be if you portray what you need it to be. It's kind of, if you speak to him, you want to hear him talk. And the time I met him, when I shit talked his swing, I think I said asshole or jackass. I don't know the word that I used when I was 13. He sat me down for about an hour, and I got lectured out about how I cannot use those words. That didn't last very long. But
Yeah, I was about to say, but he's got.
Yeah, but-
yeah, I think he.
Didn't he say that I'm a Heisman Trophy winner and Hall of Famer, and you said I don't know what the hell the Heisman Trophy is?
I didn't know what the Heisman Trophy was. Yes,
Wow.
not a.
Man, you're just getting lessons everywhere. Not know what the U.S. Open is, the Heisman Trophy. I mean, I guess
was a kid. I wasn't a sports kid. I was just a kid.
Yeah, the Karate Kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
golf's
I
not
knew what-
sports, all right.
Oh, I knew what Olympic games
just-
were. I knew how to kick somebody in the head and get points. I know how if I heal you in the chest, that's not the main point than me side kicking you in the ribs. Those things I knew, but no.
Do you have like a black belt? Did you like stick to, even though like you don't have much time, do you like, you know how to do all that stuff?
Yes. I don't do much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't try to. I kind of have to suppress it.
Do you miss it?
I do. I absolutely loved it. I miss it. And you know how girls are, they want to try like new things to train, whether it's kickboxing, Pilates, to, you know,
there's a couple
CrossFit.
guys on tour like that, about 100.
Yeah, so I tried kickboxing and I stopped because I got really into it.
Really?
I had to stop because I love that. Just one-on-one, and you just got to take this person down. Like I love it.
Why did you
Danielle, stop. Don't be aggressive. We need to learn patience. Don't go crazy.
I don't know how you do it.
But isn't it like you have such a, and I say this in a complimentary way, I can tell like when you're in contention, you have a killer mentality where it's almost like the Mamba mentality. But you're also saying like don't be aggressive. So how do you channel that aggression in a positive manner on the course when the pressure is the highest?
So interesting you brought that up. I actually haven't spoken about this to anybody in recent. I've been feeling like I've been suppressing so much of, you know, whether it's the anger, or whether it's the fire, the fierceness, or whatever it may be that people see about me. I've been trying to just calm it down and just dull it. And I've realized for the last few months that when I'm in that pressure zone, like for some reason I was stuck. And I was trying to approach it in a calm manner and try to approach it just a little bit methodically and just everything's going to be okay. But actually, I don't know if I can swear on this, but I was like, you know what, fuck patience. Yeah. I'm going to do what I want. Like, I went to ANA and I was Sunday, I said, you know what, I'm just going to go for everything. And that's just kind of my attitude. And even on Sunday, on 18th hole, I was really proud of my birdie there because I was so angry hitting that shot. I don't know if they showed it on TV. It was my wedge shot on 18. And I almost holed out. And I was making myself so angry over the ball because I want to feel like I have to do it. Like I can do it. And this is why I'm here and just make it happen. So I'm trying to actually channel that more in the last few, like that's what I'm trying to actually work on, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense because I'm happy-go-lucky and I'm trying to channel my inner, you know, like obviously you want to win. I mean, you win more than I do because I haven't won. But like at some point,
you haven't won on tour?
No, you know, sometimes you just
European
don't win.
Tour. He's got one European Tour win.
I know, but like, how do you? I mean, I'm competitive, but I feel like some days I'm more competitive. You know, playing a little pickup game of basketball, I will run over any kid. But like golf, it's like, man, dude, like we're gonna live. Like no one's gonna die out here. And then like one time I got serious and like, you know, you just start breaking stuff, and I just don't think that's how you should act. And maybe I'm a truist, but
I get mad on the golf course.
Does it depend on the person?
It's a different, but yeah, you have to embrace your own personality. You really
I do. But like my personality it's all good. Don't worry about it. We're gonna live.
But at the same time, it's not all good, Harold, because you want to win.
Correct, because I'm talking about it. Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm learning that.
You tell yourself, no, Harold, it is not all good. I'm gonna win this. You know what? I want to be happy if I win this. It's not gonna be like a happier person, but I'm gonna get what I want.
Correct.
So it's not all good.
It's pretty weird.
No, Harold, it's not good to 3-putt from 15 feet.
I'm sitting on this podcast and I'm learning more. Obviously, I'm learning. The world's going to learn about you, but I'm like sitting there. I'm just like, damn, maybe I should do that. So thank you for sharing that. Like,
thank you.
I'm a non-violent. I'm definitely a lover, not a fighter. Some days.
Everyone's a fighter.
Depends on what time of the hour it is.
Everyone's fighter. I always say everyone's nice until they don't want to be.
I agree. That is so true.
Everybody's nice. They can't say, oh, he's a really nice guy. Oh, he's a really nice girl. She's a really nice girl. Everybody's nice. Depends who you ask and depends who you want to be. I don't know what they do when they go home. So unless I know you, I'm never going to call you nice or not nice. he was really nice when I spoke. See, Harold, I don't know you, but I'm going to be like, hey, I really enjoyed having a podcast with him. See, George, he doesn't know time zones.
So he just
George guy's the worst. There was an article that came out a couple weeks ago saying, like, LPGA course setup. They thought there should be more birdies. It's too hard as it is right now. What did you think of what Beth Ann Nichols put out there, to what you see week in and week out?
I heard about the article. I mean, the golf course setup is the way it is. I would like people to set up the golf course the way the golf course is supposed to be played. That's kind of where I'm coming from. So, golf course is like Nona was beautiful, but that par 3, like the 13th hole, me having a 6-iron into that back left pin, I can't hold the green. So I understand that from the back it's good. I think we should just move up the tee and then have like a shorter iron in. I understand it sucks because we don't hit it far, but I just want to play the way it's supposed to be played. Like number 11, I don't know if you guys know the hole. Dog leg right to left. Beautiful. This tree comes in the way on the layup shot. Green, there's a front false front, back in, bunker. The green's so protected, but it's a 3-shot hole. It's a driver, 5-iron wedge. And I think things like that, like move up the tee and maybe go for it. But it's not like Diamond Resorts everything was pretty accessible, but I couldn't reach any of them. But like number 7, par 5 was straight shot, and it was only 7 on a reachable par 5. They could have tucked it, but they didn't on a final day. Number 10, same thing, straight shot, and then they left the 10 on the green. So it's just, you got to pick and choose when it needs to be reachable, when it needs to be risk or rewarded, and even par 5s, par 4s, and par 3s for that matter. So I think it depends who sets it up, and depending on the condition. So that's just kind of how I see it. With the course setup, it is what it is. I mean, you still got to hit the fairway and still have to make the putt, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey,
right?
Say that for everybody in the back from the top rope. Just say, it is what it is. Yeah, who cares
No,
how they set it up?
it is
Play
what it
golf,
is. Like,
bro.
I could sit here and be like, oh, why didn't they do this? But, like, if I made birdie, I'm not going to bitch about it. So
At all. You ain't going to say a word, man. Them things are
Like,
hard
who
to come
cares?
by for
Like,
me lately.
yeah, sometimes, like, they put it in weird places. Sometimes whoever set it up might be wrong that day or, like, right. I don't know, but who cares? It still has a green. You still have to put it in the hole. That's what golf is.
So PGA Tour, which I cover a lot more than LPGA, you'll see
we
some
know.
rivalries that bubble up. With
No comment on that last statement. We're going to let that one
that's
keep
cool, George.
going. All right.
Well, no, I'm not. I don't pick the assignments. I love when I'm out there, and I've
It's okay, George.
gotten,
It's no one's fault.
I've gotten to powwow with you before, Danielle.
No
and
comment.
my old roommate's one of the LPGA commentators, and Tom Abbott. But like you'll
Oh my
see,
God, Tom.
oh, he's the best. You'll see Bryson and Brooks like shit talk each other on Twitter, and you see like little rivalries that will bubble outside the ropes that then become public. Are there rivalries that people are comfortable embracing on the LPGA, or is it more just like internal battles where if you're in the thick of it, then it's people that you just enjoy beating more than others? But like, do you think the women's game will get to the point, or is it already there where these can start bubbling up, where there's some good like competitive rivalries?
But I don't think we could really say if the players on my tour are great, but if we said anything, I feel like remotely what Brooks or those guys say on Twitter,
wouldn't
like
fly.
we wouldn't be,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
Yeah.
fly. Like
Yeah, it wouldn't
I
pass
can't even say what I want to say about not even whoever, just
Whatever
about
you
myself.
feel, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it weird that like when you're just being yourself like right now, you can't do that around everyone?
Not anymore.
That's
Before
awesome.
I did, not anymore. I did actually for a little while. I did. But I honestly, I really don't give a fuck anymore. This is who I am.
I think that's
Like,
cool as fuck. I don't know if this will get
I've-
aired, but that is cool as fuck.
I've tried to be, but you know, at the end of the day, you could ask yourself, am I a good person? I know I'm a good person.
Yeah, you
I
don't
don't
have to
care if
prove
you like
shit
me
to
or not.
anybody.
Yeah, I don't care if you like me or not. I know what I need to do. And I ask myself every day, am I a good person? Did I do good things today? Was I a good friend, daughter, sister, anything? But I don't need to sit here and go, she swears like a sailor. Actually, I can turn that on and off. And if I want to, I will. If I don't want to, I don't have to. But I will never try and portray my opinions on people. And if I think something's wrong, I won't do it. But that doesn't mean if you do it, it's wrong. Go ahead, but that's not what I'm going to do. And I think me trying to be all perfect cookie cutter, and then yet once in a while I make a mistake, and then it comes at me, I used to freak out. So now I'm just like, whatever. If you'd like to know my opinions, I will tell you. But even on podcasts and things, sometimes I'm like, I can't really talk about that because now it's just I can't explain myself.
No, that's totally fine because neither can Harold. I'm terrible at it. I will never be able to explain myself.
The ego on this guy gets one podcast and starts calling himself Harold. Jesus.
No, I was trying to compliment you. I just don't know how to explain myself either. It's why I am where I'm at, and I don't really give a fuck.
Well, Danielle, I'll say this, and obviously I consider you a friend since I'm very good buddies with your brother, and admire as someone who will watch the women's game, and if I'm watching a tournament with Harold, I'm rooting for him. If I watch a tournament on the LPGA, I'm rooting for you. I always just respect the hell out of how comfortable you are in your own skin, because a lot of people don't wear that, and I know Harold in his own way is also very comfortable in who he is. So that's I respect the authenticity, and that's what I enjoy as a golf fan.
Yeah. Some days you're not, some days you are, and you just got to figure out.
I feel like you can make a lot of money selling an image. You can make a lot of money just doing what is liked.
You can.
That pisses me off in this world.
But I don't think I do that necessarily. I try.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying that.
No, yeah.
And no one will ever say when you're acting or whatever you're doing that. What I would go text my boys and be like, "Hey man, what the fuck is he doing? Or what is she doing?"
I tell people that people can always say what they believe things should be, what they could always talk about, and use all the fancy words and explain all they want, but actions show the loudest. You want to see a change, then be the change. That's all I can say. Do what you think is right and act on it, not just by social media. I'm talking about in life. Treat people with respect if you want respect. You treat people with kindness if you want kindness, as much as you can.
Well, I just like the way you handle yourself, that you think about, even though you're going to say it, it's, the shit just ain't going to fly sometimes. And you're proud. Yeah, you're just cool with this is what the truth is. I can live with that. And
I was listening to the song "Where's the Love" by Black Eyed Peas. That song needs to be played all over the world right now. On repeat.
Damn.
On repeat. I go, damn. This came out in 2003. It's gotten worse since 2003.
That was my high school cruising around song way back in the day.
All right, let's get back to serious shit. So,
you can ask whatever you guys want.
I take lessons from Bradley Hughes. Great guy. I love him. He might not like this question, but I always get this question where they say, if you could get a lesson from anyone, who would it be? And my answer's always been Butch. So I want to know what do you like from Butch? Because all I hear is these stories. I'm like, damn, what is Butch like, Houdini? And I think, obviously we know, are you the only female to take lessons from Butch right now?
Right now, I believe so. Well, Natalie Golbus has always been with him.
Correct.
But she's taken some time off with medicals and things like that, but I'm the only active player.
So give us a little insight on what you like about Butch, what you don't like about Butch, what are y'all working on?
So I'm actually going to tell you a really quick story because I think this is funny. Because you told me your coach's name, so I'm learning about all the coaches now. I told you I'm still learning. And I actually learned about your coach a few months ago. And okay, you gotta hear the story. So I was at the U.S. Open, and this reporter comes up, and my caddy, who's been with me for 4.5 years, knows me really well. So he knows how to, push people away if I'm gonna say something stupid. He actually is my filter. Anyways, the guy comes up and goes, "Hey, we need a comment about what Hank Haney said today. Would you like to comment?" And I said, "What?" And then he goes, "Hank Haney, the golf coach, he made a comment today about something, something, something." And I said, "Hank Haney's not my golf coach. Butch Harmon's my golf coach. Who's Hank Haney?" And then my caddy just looks at me and goes, okay, she's not going to answer questions. And he goes, Hank Haney's the golf coach. And I said, Hank Haney, I don't know who that is. Butch Harmon is my golf coach. So I thought he wanted a comment about Hank Haney's some lesson thing. But I was like, no, that's not who I had a lesson with. Because just earlier I was talking about Butch's lesson. So I said, I'm so confused. And then Ollie goes, it was like walking by. So it was like, it happened very fast. And my caddy goes, we got to go. Like, sorry, we'll talk to you later. And my caddy just goes, do you know who Hank Haney is? And I said, no, who's that? And he goes, let's just go, D. I don't know why I work for you. He goes, let's just go. I got so confused. So anyways, I'm learning about golf coaches.
Oh, my gosh.
Moving by, with that said, yes, I work with Butch Harmon. Butch thought it was funny. I called him. I was like, dude, this guy kept coming up to me asking about Hank Haney, my coach or something. And he goes, I don't think that's what they're asking, D.
Yeah, it was a different
And,
subject matter they were trying to...
Wow.
But
good on you for being so, like, not aware that they couldn't even get you.
Unaware.
They couldn't even catch you in a trap.
I was so ignorant.
Chopped your ass out of there.
I was so ignorant that it was a bliss. Like I lived that motto. Butch Harmon is a human that I am so thankful to have come across. And I know I'm only 28, and I'm sure I'm going to meet many people in my life, but he is something special. And Harold, if you ever want a lesson from him, I'm sure you can call him and go see him at least once. But he's got a language that speaks to all golfers, I believe. So I'm sure that you have had a lesson from many different people, at least have tried. And when they say something, it doesn't make sense. But when Butch says it, it just clicks. And that's the beauty of Butch. And he makes you realize that you need to work on what you need to work on. Butch can't fix something for you. He can't make something go away. He can't make you play better. But he helps you realize, hey, maybe, but he makes you realize yourself, like, hey, maybe you need to go work on your wedges. Maybe I need to go work on my wedges. Maybe I should do this. And at the same time, if you don't do it, he'll just straight up tell you, your wedges suck.
Yeah,
like,
so either you're going to address it or,
He'll tell you if you suck. So either you take it, and then you take that and run with it, and then go, all right, I'm going to do this and this and this to make better. And you could even ask him, hey, what can I do to better myself? He'd be like, and he'll give you reasons and hows and all that. But he makes you realize how better of a player you can be and what proper things you need to work on. And not only that, like for me, I think, I'm going to say this, I think Danielle's special with Butch because I also, third person to myself, I also think he really, really helps me off the golf course. Like that man stays on the phone with me. I'm upset about something, and I'm crying to him for 45 minutes, crying, laughing, bitching, screaming, and it's nothing to do with golf. And he just sits there and just, it's going to be fine, girl. Everything's going to be okay. And then he'd be like, you know what? Yeah, fuck that. Like, he'll just, like, go with me. He's like a person, it's like a confidant that I could rely on. So I really appreciate that kind of relationship with him where I could really rely on him as a person to help me, like, be mentally prepared. And golf is secondary for us, which is what really is helpful for me. When things are calm and good to go, when people play well, it's easy to play well. But when things are bad in your life is when you need people. And Butch is that person for me. And he's changed. My game has changed. Went 180. I went from missing 8 out of 9 cuts to 3rd place, 1st place, 6th place, 12th place, God forbid 40th.
Yeah,
I think I missed my first cut with him since I started working with him at Lake Nona, and that was rough. And he goes, oh, WTF, what happened? And I go, Butch, I wasn't ready to play. And he goes, it's all good. Get your shit together. I was like, okay. It's just simple. He's a simple man.
That's awesome. Seems like people that age are always that old, like that are that old. Just that's what it's always simple,
It's simple.
The youngins make it complicated.
Yeah, and I'm not a big numbers person, so I always say that the machine's lying to me. I hit it, and it goes, "You hit a 78." I'm like, "No, I didn't. That was 79. That was 79. That thing's lying."
Good on you.
Butch Butch just goes with it, and he's actually not a numbers guy either. So he actually taught me how to play golf better, and that's hard to do, to teach a person how to play.
Goal, like, hey,
yes, just
situational stuff, correct?
Yeah, but he's kind of, I can say all the good things about him, but I think the way he coaches is very unique. My fairway woods are really bad, so when I showed up one day, all we do is, he says, get on a golf cart, and we go on the golf course, and he's got spots that he's already scouted out. Like, we go to hole number 14, hole number 17, hole number 12, and he goes, all right, hit your 5-wood here. One shot, downhill lie, uphill lie, sitting down, sitting up, and then I just hit 20, 30 golf balls from the middle of the fairway. We wave people through, go to the par 3, make sure, and he just knows the tee boxes. So I work on it with him for 3 to 4 hours, and then it gets better. So it's like recognizing what you need to get better at, and a coach being able to teach you how to play it and be confident is what he does.
That was,
I don't know. It's
one
interesting.
of the best answers we've had on this podcast to any question I've asked. So,
Harold, I'll tell you. Another thing is, I hate when people come and bother me when I'm practicing at tournaments. When I'm hitting golf balls, I do not like to be disturbed. Because I just need to focus, and I can't focus very well anyways. But I don't like when people, I don't like when people walk by back and forth. It really pisses me off. And Butch, he knows that, and I didn't know he was doing this on purpose. Every time somebody came by, I would stop hitting, and I just kind of like glare, like give him a side eye, and then the guy goes away. And eventually, the next couple days, I go to his lesson, and he put this parrot in the bay. Now, there was a fake parrot, and I was like, what is that? And every time I swung, there was a motion, and it would just cuss at me every single time. Like, this stupid parrot would be like, fuck you. It's like...
No way.
It was like 7 different sayings, and this parrot was ridiculous. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? And he thought it was so funny. He's like, look at this parrot. Like, he didn't put it exactly there, so he was just like motion it every other day. We had like 4 or 5 people sitting in there talking. Everyone's going crazy. I'm not going to tell Butch Harmon being like, yo, are you kidding me? Get everybody out of here. I'm not going to do that. So I just was like, and then eventually, 3-4 lessons later, I just didn't care. I was like, I'm just going to do my thing. But then he watched everything that I did with all the chaos going on. And eventually it got quieter, and then the parrot went away, and then people stopped coming in, and then I no longer care if somebody comes over or not. I know how to ignore it. And I didn't realize he was doing it on purpose until months later. That's how annoyed I was.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Leech.
Yeah, so that's a story. Sorry, I'm a storyteller too, so.
No, it's great.
Well, you're incredible at it, so keep going.
What's the Vegas golf community like? And I've spent a little time, obviously, with Alex, and he's roommates with David Lipsky, who's European Tour guy and Korn Ferry guy. But who are you normally playing with? And it seems like that's kind of become the hotbed for a lot of pros. If they don't move to Scottsdale, they move to Vegas now.
I really am hoping that people stop moving to Las Vegas because they're taking over a lot of my practice facility. And yes, it's my practice facility, and there's just too many people. So I keep telling people Vegas sucks. Please go to Texas or Florida or anywhere else because it is flooding with too many tour players. But with that said, we have a lot of tour players.
Stop playing. You love that. You love competition, so I just have a hard time believing that.
I play with my brother and Lipsky most of the time.
I play Call of Duty.
Honestly.
Call of Duty with Lipsky. That's about it. I love the guy. Actually, I spent Thanksgiving with him in Hong Kong one year. It was
Really?
wonderful. Yeah, I swear. Yeah, he took me, him, Chase Kepka, and Julian Surrey. We had dinner in Hong Kong.
You want to hear something really funny?
Yeah,
This is
that's
so
what we're
random.
here for.
Lipsky and I have a matching tattoo.
What?
I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. Hold on. Jeez Louise.
You guys really have a matching tattoo?
Yeah. Him, me, and 2 other friends of ours. Alex is technically the only other person that can get the matching tattoo, but he refuses, says it's so stupid that he won't get it.
You meet Marcus Allen as like a 13-year-old. I know you're tight with the Gretzky family. Has Wayne given any advice during your playing career? I know he's been big with Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, like he's given me advice since I was growing up here and there, and one of the best advice he's ever given me is that, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So every day you just get consistent and get better. Don't try and just get things done right away, because it's not going to happen. And even if you win the sprint, it's just a marathon. Good. Yeah. That was his advice.
It's good advice. So I was watching a YouTube video, you and Caitlyn Jenner playing Sherwood a month ago.
Oh yeah, she surprised me with that recording.
Yeah, she was saying you've known her, like 15 years or so.
15 years,
and then also
yes.
Knew her secret 3 to 4 years prior to her transition.
I knew everything. I know all of her and her people's secrets.
How did you get that close to Caitlyn Jenner?
I just played golf with her here and there, and I don't know. I think when people kind of trust me with their stuff is because I'm going to say this as nice as possible. I don't really care to share. I can listen, but it's not my problem or reasons to go around and tell people, oh my God, guess what happened? It just kind of just stays with them. And I think Caitlyn kind of realized that that's kind of the person I am, so she just always felt like she can tell me things. And I don't judge, so I don't really, like I said, I don't care. For me, I care for that person. So I always tell her, though, if I sold all her secrets, I think I would have made more money than me playing golf. But,
me and you both.
Yeah.
Well, how did she first bring that up to you? Like, that's a huge secret to tell you when she was still Bruce, and then it's 3 years out until she transitions to Caitlyn, which was,
I actually knew that she had, a gender identity issue. She told me that when I was about 15, 16, I want to say. She actually said, hey, I was practicing there, and she said, hey, can you have lunch with me? And I said, sure. And then she goes, I have something to tell you. And she said she wanted to be honest with me, and she just felt like she wanted to tell me. So she told me during lunch, and then I went, okay, do you want to go play 9? Or I'm going to go play. So, thanks for sharing. You're still you. It doesn't change who you are, So, and I just got updates here and there about that, and I knew her name as Caitlyn before when she was Bruce, and sooner or later it just happened progressively, and I knew that she already transitioned 3 years prior, not 3 years, sorry, it was like a gradual, but when a surgery was done, I knew it, but then a year later it would come out, and then it's just, it was a little behind, but I think it just takes time for things to settle down, right? So she went through a lot, but she has been one of the greatest humans in my life. She's so caring, she's so loving, and she never forgets, and she gives a shit. It is hard to find people that give a shit about you. So I don't care what she does. I love her as her.
So you've shared. She's had a huge impact in your life. Marcus Allen. Butch Harmon and Wayne Gretzky. It's a pretty amazing foursome of people that have been influential in your life.
Yeah. I'm surrounded by some awesome people.
That was the best. Yeah.
Yeah, they're okay.
I'm surrounded by some really cool people. I really am. I'm blessed with how. It's not just about who they are, though, what they've done in life. It's how they are now with me and who they are in my life. What it matters to me and how they matter to me. Great, they've done this stuff. Marcus Allen's Marcus Allen, but besides being that Marcus Allen, I genuinely appreciate who he is and how he's affected my life and our relationship. And him and his wife and his son, all of it. It's just all the relationships that I've created. Like I see it as like I've got great friends and family around me. And you can't actually disregard this. I actually met Marcus Allen through Eric Dickerson, and Eric's like my other uncle, so he's gonna be pissed if you're like, oh, Marcus, and then Eric's like, are you kidding me? So.
And same spot you met Eric, same golf course.
Eric wanted me to meet Marcus.
So I need to come to this club so I can meet some real cool people. Shit.
You meet one cool person, and then the cool person like introduces you to the next cool person. Yeah.
Who's the celebrity? I mean, I can tell you're not the type to get starstruck. Is there one out there that would actually get you a little nervous or a little starstruck?
I did. Will Smith.
I
saw him.
Hey, let's go ahead and stop this right here. No shit.
Will Smith. He's the man. I don't
what
think
do you
he'll
love
remember.
about Will Smith though? Like what? Like was it Fresh Prince or was it Bad Boys 2, which is my favorite movie?
I think it's just.
Was he good looking?
Vibe. No, he's vibe. Just like he could. He's kind of.
You just said vibe like he was good looking. I just
like.
Hey,
he goes for his range is so wide. You know, he could be playing a badass to a dorky guy, a Fresh Prince to like a serious Pursuit of Happiness. God, are you kidding me with that movie? Like. He's just so, and then that's, I feel like who he is. He just gets so into it, and like he gives it 110% in anything he does. And dude, he is good looking. Have you seen him? Are you kidding me?
Thank you. I was wondering if you were going to go there or not.
You could have played golf with him, but you had to eat lunch.
How did you know that?
George told me this. I still don't believe this.
No, you didn't. I did my research.
Don't worry about it.
I did my research.
I didn't want to eat lunch.
You could have played golf with Will Smith.
My friend said we were supposed to eat lunch, so we won't play. And I was so mad, and I didn't want to be like, oh, my God, let's go play. So I was just trying to be chill, but I'm still mad about it. Yes. But also at the same time, I don't think I could have played because he watched me hit balls, and I topped my driver. So I was younger, so I think I'm more chill now. So it's like I need to get it together before I play golf with him. I can't just go out there and top a shot. It's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous, but...
Who cares if you top it?
Harold, you ever been in that scenario?
No, I don't really care if I hit it bad. I hit so many people. I mean, I don't know. I just don't really care what anyone does with their golf ball. As long as there's like you said, how'd you do it? You're like, it's a good vibe. Good vibe. You know, just
good vibes. Adam Sandler, look at him. Just good vibe.
If anyone brings a good vibe. What did 2 Chainz say? It's a vibe or something. I want, it's a vibe. So, I don't know. I've never been nervous. I played with MJ. I'll tell you the most nervous I've ever been was, I'd say, playing with Tiger, knowing what I was going to ask him. But, that was going to help me out in
What'd
my
you
life.
ask him?
So, I asked him, how does he focus? Because we,
What's his answer?
So we were talking. He said it's like reading a book with the TV on, and I was like, man, I just started reading stuff I like to read, and I can't concentrate, so I always keep on I don't cut the TV on while I read. But I understood what he was saying. It was like, hey, you can hear things, you can see things, but what you're focused on. You can understand what's going on in that book while the TV's on. So it just helped me out. Be more Harold. Be talkative. Be whatever you want to be, but when it's your time to hit, let's go ahead and get it. You know what I'm saying? So it was, that's why I asked him. It was pretty funny.
So Danielle, would you ever want to tee it up in a PGA Tour event?
I do, only when I reach world number 1.
Why then?
I'm going to have to look through all the golf course analysis and everything that would benefit me and that I think I could play well at. I'm not going to play TPC Summerlin because you guys can drive 4 or 5 of the holes there. So I'm already starting 5 down minimum. So I think if the golf course is super tight, tree-lined, thick rough, that I can just hit driver, and dink a 5-wood under the green, things like that. Is he laughing? He's laughing. That's what I want to do. I could just dink it straight down and fight you with my short game. That's what my thing is.
Why do you want to wait till you're number one?
Because I want to be the best in what I do in order for it to be able to compete in something else. I don't want to be able to want to do something else when I haven't earned my own title in my field.
We're all done. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Man, that was a fun one. I know I had to sit out the SVP interview, which I thought you nailed. That was one of my favorites. Danielle and the conversation and all the different directions we went, I have to put that up there with SVP. There are a few curveballs in there I wasn't expecting. What surprised you the most of that combo?
Just how determined she is as a golfer, I can relate with. I mean, I can't relate with all her winnings and stuff, but she's just like super easy to like talk to. You know, like most people are like very, even though you're opinionated, it's hard to get your opinion out sometimes, and she's really good at just like being so true to herself, and I think that's hard to do in this day and age.
What did you think of the conversation where you guys were debating her approach, where she was saying unless she wins, it's not all good, and that's kind of how she carries herself, and you were saying you're more of a lover, and it's okay if you don't win. Like everyone's going to be okay. It seemed like two different angles for like how you guys approach the grind in the trenches.
I took it personal, you know, like it was really good. She's like, you know, like it was so weird. She was like encouraging me. I was like, hey, hold on now, that's my job. So it was super cool. But like, you know, like in the moment, like it made me think like, what am I thinking about when I really do have a chance to win? When I'm really have a chance to win, it's like, you know, it's business. Like I'm not thrilled as much as I want to sit here and be like, oh, it's happy-go-lucky. It's, you know, I just wouldn't be where I'm at if it was happy-go-lucky all the time. So it was very interesting how she just like, you know, got so excited about winning, like talking about someone else winning. You know, she was very like.
It's also cool to see. I think you're a product of your environment. And then, I mean, there's the quote, you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with in your life. And to see that she would hit 1,001 balls because her brother Alex hit 1,000, just to be able to say that she beat him by 1, and when vying for her parents' attention and all that type of stuff. And then also the fact that her crew in Vegas, it's kind of Alex, David Lipsky, who else is up? Aaron
Decent
Wise.
Crew.
Yeah.
Decent
so
crew.
There's like 4 to 6 guys on the PGA Tour and European Tour that she's playing with day in and day out. And then to have Butch as your swing coach, it just seems like an awesome group that she's playing with week in and week out between starts on the LPGA Tour, which has got to be huge to help elevate her game.
Yeah, I think she's in the right place. I mean, she loves it out there. It's just totally different than there's no way I could live in Vegas. I'm not capable enough like to discipline myself to not want to be on the strip. But she you know, she's just very, you know, set to do one thing, and I think that's pretty cool when people just put their minds to things and their life kind of revolves around it. I think that's really cool.
I could actually live in Vegas.
Good for you.
Because they're all up in Summerlin, so they're like 20-25 minutes away from the heart of Las Vegas. And I guess since I live in Miami Beach, it's not surprising that I could handle living on the periphery of Vegas. But there's actually good hiking, and there's a bunch of other stuff to do in Vegas aside from the black hole that is the Strip. But of course, the temptation would always be there.
25 minutes ain't enough, bud.
You need about a 4-hour flight.
Correct. Yeah, like where it's like it's difficult to make happen. So good on the people that live in Vegas. Come to North Carolina whenever.
Would you? She said she wants to play one PGA Tour event if she's world number 1 in the women's.
I thought
game.
that was pretty cool because we started off saying like, would you play a PGA Tour event? And she was so adamant. I don't think if you're not the best, you don't deserve it. So I think that was unbelievable. You know,
Would you be
She's
supportive?
so calculated that. Yeah, I don't really care, man. I'm sure she'll take somebody's spot, but it'll blow over. There'll be another tournament.
But how?
No,
When you say they take someone's spot, how? If it's a sponsor's invite, then whose spot is she taking?
I think if it's one of the last few events, and there's a guy that's 128 on the money list or on the FedEx, and he can't get in that event, and he's looking for a spot. I think someone's livelihood matters more than somebody getting exposure to the PGA Tour. You know, like, I don't think if I just
Because I go other side, play better. Like
Yeah,
you didn't
I mean-
earn your way in the field. Why do you get to play in that event then if you're not good enough and the sponsor wants
But
more
what if
visibility?
it's a guy that basically he's been playing on conditional all year and he's been grinding his ass off. He just hasn't gotten any starts. I mean, there's just so many things that can happen.
He didn't play well enough to have status then. Like I
I'm
always
just
go to
saying,
the
if
root.
he only got 7 starts. What I'm saying, there's people who like, you know, what if it's a Will Zalatoris? You know, he gets 7 starts because it counts after the next year. Like, you know, and he's got to finish in that 125 and make X amount. I think I think that would go further than just seeing Danielle playing a PGA Tour. That's my thing. But
Well,
she's
I
super
think you're
calculated.
getting in the weeds where it's not like it would be Wyndham, so it would likely
Yeah,
be.
I
like
really
that.
don't. I know.
Well
I
in-
just don't
well in
think she
advance.
would. The way she was calculated, she's not going to go to like a crazy long Bombers golf course, and it would be a place like Wyndham. It'd be maybe
Yeah,
Colonial.
it'd probably be Colonial where Annika played in 2003. I could see RBC Heritage.
Yeah, I mean, but those wouldn't matter. They're all invitationals,
Yeah, and
you know. Like I get that. I'm not against it at all. I don't really care anymore because it's so polarized. Like if I speak my mind, damn Harold, I didn't know you like that. If I agree with someone, so I just say whatever the hell I want. You know, fuck 'em. If I think that, because that could be me one day. That's the way I always look at it. You know, like so I'll just always look at it that way. And I don't really care if anyone likes it or doesn't like it.
No, and I get it. And I've had these conversations with Tripp Eisenhower, and it's protecting the guys around that 125 bubble who are grinding.
What,
But
Will
then-
Zalatoris can't get membership? Why in the hell should we just be like, shit? You know, I don't get that.
Those
Like
are
that-
two different things, though. It's a
But
false
it's a spot.
equivalency.
But it's a spot in the field. It's, you know, like right now he can't
that's
just
why-
sign up for an event.
Yeah, you can. Wilk has an unlimited sponsor.
He has
invites,
unlimited
basically.
sponsors invites. He can't go say that he can't. He has to get a sponsor invite. Not saying he won't get it. I'm just saying I find that pretty weird.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
true.
the same
That's-
thing. It's a spot in the field though. Like you know, like he's getting the same thing Danielle would get, a sponsor's invite.
Oh,
I'm
for
just-
sure.
Yeah, so I look at it that way. Like you know, if we're talking about if we're going down the road to selling stuff, you want Will Zalatoris. You know, like what are we doing here? You know. So
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I don't really care anymore. That's my opinion about it. And the problem you have is there's no right answer because you're going to be
Anyone
you're gonna
can
be
craft their
damned if you
narrative.
do, damned if you don't. You know. Like,
Yep.
And the coolest thing about I guess getting older is, fuck 'em. You know, it'll be alright. You know, make your mind.
I
up.
just-
That's what's-
My concern as a golf fan is when mediocrity is protected.
correct. I mean,
Because I think it should be like the top 100 every year.
Yeah, we've talked about that. That's been up there. I mean, but why should it go to 100? What does going to 100 benefit us? Not having, going to the top 100, like what is? Because I don't give a fuck if they go to the top 50. You know, like I don't really care. I just don't know what does it do to benefit. Like, what does it do? I don't think I finished 123. I'm not mediocre, so I don't think that. But like, if you went to 100. What does it do for the rest? What does it do to the Corn Fair? Like, I think if you have a reason to go to the Corn Ferry, like you make more opportunity for the Corn Ferry guys, or something changes. All right, but every time we talk about going to 100, we're just going to 100 because we're going to 100. Well, how dumb is that? Like, I think that obviously the older you get, you feel like you make decisions that have reason. Like all right, well, if I do this, this will happen with those hopes. Every time we go talk about going to 100, we don't have it. It's the same thing about NCAA athletes getting paid. I think all of them should get paid. What should they get paid? Why should they get paid this way? Everyone has ideas. I just wish we had something tangible to where you could be like, hey, man, that's a plan. I can work that plan. That's great, and we should keep doing that.
What are those conversations like when you guys are have pack meetings? And
Gosh, they suck, man. We talk about dumb stuff, and then there might be one good topic. They're terrible. But you do usually get, like, there's beer in there, there's food, so I'm always, when they're in person, they're awesome. But the last year,
isn't Jordan leading it?
Yeah, he's on it. I don't know what he is exactly. I mean, everyone's got a title, but the only person that matters are the people that are on the board of the PGA Tour. That's all that matters, really, because we could have a good idea. We could have a good idea. If the board doesn't pass it, it doesn't matter. So it's kind of fucking stupid sometimes, in my opinion. Like, for instance, I could share this. One of the last topics were talking about should we take FedEx Cup ranking into effect for the Saturday final pairing. So if you and I we're tied, and you have a better FedEx Cup ranking, you're going to get in the final group or the group closer to the end. And we spent 20 minutes on it.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's absolutely stupid. You're in TV, but, like, if that happens, I would have never played in a final group. That's what people wake up, like, people don't understand. Like, man, it's so cool to play in the final group. It actually matters to the golfer. But from TV, they're like, we want the best golfers. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, I literally just worked my ass off for 20 years of my life to get in this final group, and you're going to just play with it? Like, let's see if we can just put these guys.
Yeah, you guys are an entertainment product.
Yeah, we're entertainment, but I don't understand. Like, there's entertainment, and
people
then
want to see LeBron.
Yeah, everyone wants to see LeBron, and LeBron didn't play the other night, and they waxed him. Waxed the best team in the league. So it's any given night.
It does matter, and I guarantee the ratings were way down versus if you're seeing the top 5, top 20, top 40, top whatever.
Yeah, but there's some level of, like, getting in the final group. For a golfer, for a PGA Tour golfer, there is a level of, like, hey, like, when we talk about the PGA and me shooting 1,000, you know what everyone says? Oh, you played in the final group. They don't talk about what I shot. It's in that I was tied with, like, 5 other people.
Is it not arbitrary how it's currently determined?
I think it's pretty good how it's determined. First in, last out. Like, because it actually makes a lot of sense if people actually paid attention to the weather. Because when they tee off if you that day, speaking of that tournament, if I would have teed off 2 hours earlier, it would have been way easier. The course would have been way easier. So it's set up to make it where it's, close. Like it's, the conditions get a little harder. It's set up that way. So it's actually set up to make it more entertaining. In honesty, especially honestly, if it's more windy in the afternoon, I never knew they did it on purpose. To be honest with you, I just thought, whatever. So I don't know. I thought that was just that's a waste of time. I think that's a waste of my time asking me about that. Like, you can go ask the board of directors. If y'all decide it, then do it. But don't ask me. I don't really care. I just think you have a great, you're doing it. If it was so bad, y'all would have already changed it. Like, I think these microphones being on the tee box is way more important. Like, that's way more important than talking about what the final group should be based off of FedEx. So it's some long hours just sitting there like, yep, yeah, no. Some people get into it though, I just don't get into it.
Yeah, I think it's stage of the career that depends how engaged guys are. So I've had some good conversations with.
I'm engaged. I just it's a waste of time. I want to get on something where when I say something, that might happen. I say something, George. Maybe. I don't know. So, all in time. Just play better, like you said. Play better.
Let's do very quick overrated, underrateds, and on your thoughts for Heritage, and we'll call it a day. So, overrated, underrated. Hangover the week after a major when you've just played in one, or specifically played in the final group of one.
I think every hangover is overrated. I mean, they sound so good while you're having a good time, but waking up is just it's just not pleasant. I don't have as many as I used to have, but you know the deal. You know, like, it's always fun when everyone gets together. It reminds me a lot of...
Well, I mean, like, the letdown the week after a major. How exhausted you are.
Oh, got you. I thought you meant the actual hangover.
No, not an actual hangover. Like, the PGA Championship, is there a lag where you're so wiped from playing that high level of golf in a pressure cooker that the next PGA Tour event you're spent?
It's just golf. You usually probably only played 9 holes in a practice round, so it's not, you ain't dying out there. So it's I think some people decide to play and some don't. I would play. I'm just a little younger. I think once this kid comes out, there'd be a little bit less golf. So, I definitely need to play better for that.
So, overrated or underrated? You're saying?
I think it's underrated. It's just golf. If I'm answering that right, like, it's not that big of a deal, golf-wise. But if your head's hurting as bad as it is on Monday, by Thursday usually you can figure it out.
Well, yeah, I would say hopefully Hideki was able to enjoy his Masters celebration, so that could be underrated. His caddy Shota bowing went viral.
Super underrated.
Thought it was a neat moment to watch and take in.
Super underrated. I can't believe, like I was telling you earlier, it's just very funny that how respect is so, polarizing. Like back in the day, if you didn't show any respect, you got your ass whooped. So it's really funny. But it was just really cool. Really, it's pretty cool that something like that can be so powerful. Like everyone says actions speak louder than words. He didn't say a word.
Yeah, I'd say underrated. It was a neat moment. Seeing the emotion out of Hideki was pretty badass as well. Being able to drive to a PGA Tour event, overrated or underrated?
Underrated. Tell me about it. I can't wait to get down to Hilton Head. Last year, pretty crazy. It's about where we started, so I'm excited to get going. Oh, actually, they just moved the events, so it'll be good. I had a shining moment here last year with the microphone, so looking forward to building off that.
I forgot about that. I'm going to say overrated, because driving to events and then the drive home, it's just...
Gosh, you couldn't have said it anymore. I wasn't going to think about it until you said something, George. So
sneaky
cool
pain in the ass. So that's why I'll go overrated. It's like great leaving my place to be like, oh, I can drive. And then 6 hours later, I'm like, God, that sucked. So I'm going to go overrated. Overrated, underrated. Pool season.
Underrated. I've never had a pool until now, and I've used it more than I ever thought I would. And the hot tub is super, super underrated when you're not doing anything. You're like, oh, let's just hop in the hot tub.
Yeah, I go hot tub underrated, pool overrated. When I lived in Arizona, had that setup. Pool in Arizona is great, but it wasn't heated, so you could only use it for 4 months. Hot tub, I feel like you can get utility almost year round.
It takes like every bit of 5 minutes to heat up, so it's really cool.
Exactly. So that's why I go pool or hot tub. If I had to pick one, I would go hot tub, and instead of a pool, I would go cold plunge.
You're crazy as hell.
Have you done a cold plunge?
Cold. I mean, I've gotten an ice bath, like recovery. Nah, dude, you can't convince me on getting in no cold water. I rarely go outside.
Good buddies in LA, and whenever I'd go out and visit, they'd have this like spa recovery place we'd go to on Sundays, and that had a cold plunge, and you feel amazing after it. So I'd go in, it's like 38 degrees or something like that. Go in for a minute and a half, and you get out, and just your whole body's tingling. And you've been in cold plunge before. I think it's amazing. That would be one of the first purchases I would want to make if and when I'm ever a homeowner, would be to have a cold plunge.
I think I'd buy 2 hot tubs before I got a cold plunge. I
like your style.
I'm out on cold weather. I'm sure I'm going to be the old man that I'm going to Florida whenever it gets cold. If I can afford it, I'm out.
Come join me, pal.
Yeah,
water's warm down here.
That's what I hear.
So, what did you do off week to get ready for RBC Heritage?
Man, I got a COVID shot, and I felt like my shoulder was going to fall off. I don't think everyone should worry about it, but it was more. I never felt bad, like my body, but my shoulder, like it hurt to hit balls. So I did absolutely nothing, but it was hard to like pick stuff up. I wrote some thank you letters. I'm trying to think what I did. I tried to play some golf. It just hurt for a while, but yesterday 2 days ago was the first day. It actually felt good. Had a good putting lesson.
With who?
Say again?
Who did you have the putting lesson with?
Just my old guy that I grew up. I mean, I guess it's like a mentor lesson. We actually go there and we just like talk and it seems like we talk more than I actually putt. But just guy that
get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So I just basically sat there. Just haven't seen him in a while. Like saw him. So he's 80 now. So I got to get him some golf clubs. He asked for a Jordan hat the other day, so I got to get him a Jordan hat. Actually, I got to write that down. I'm glad you said that.
Thoughts on Harbor Town?
I've never played well there. I think it's just hard course to play. I think I'm a little bit better now, so I just you have to play so well. You got to hit it so well there, and you got to hit your 3-wood well, which is that'll be interesting to say the least.
Because you're a good ball striker. That's why.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
I don't hit the 3-wood very well, but I got a new 3-wood this year. Just you got to play super conservative. I think you have to chip it oddly really well there.
Yeah, they have tiny greens.
Yeah, and some places you're just not going to get it up and down. So I'm excited to just to get going. You know, like
could you drop down to a hybrid off the tee at all, or it's either driver or 3-wood for most holes?
I mean, you could hit an iron off the tee. I'm sure Rice will have something for me there, but I'm just excited to be playing again. I got a good stretch coming. I'm looking forward to. I feel good. My body feels good. I just, the worst thing about watching the Masters is just not being there. To be honest with you, like Danielle. She's like, oh, you're going, that little fight, that little like inner self, confliction. It comes out when you're like, fuck, man, I should be there. Like, especially when people are texting you, like, you can't say, just shut up. That just kills me.
Having some few days off and then dealing with the COVID shoulder and from the shot, all that jazz. What are your expectations for the week? It seemed like you had
I want to get better. Every time I talk about winning, I play like shit. So let's just get better. Let's just keep getting closer to what I want to do in this golf world. And that starts by hitting the first tee ball, hitting the next shot, take it one shot at a time. Same thing I'm doing with my wife right now as she's pregnant. One day at a time.
Hey, one shot at a time. I get it. Play well this week. Look forward to connecting next week, H. Be good, man.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you. See you soon, brother.